Keanu Reeves's kindness transformed a struggling mother's life. It was a cold night in Los Angeles. The streets shimmered under the soft glow of neon signs, rain drizzling lightly, casting a misty haze over the quiet city. The hum of passing cars, distant sirens, and the occasional honk filled the air. At a small gas station on the corner of an empty street, the dim fluorescent lights flickered, reflecting off the damp pavement. Inside, a woman moved quickly between the pumps, her uniform slightly damp, her posture heavy with exhaustion. Her name was Emily. She was 7 months pregnant, and yet she worked tirelessly, wiping windshields, fueling cars, counting change with mechanical efficiency. Her thin jacket barely shielded her from the cold, but she had no choice. Rent was due. Bills were piling up, and she had a daughter to care for. A few feet away, under the station's awning, a little girl sat quietly, sketching in a worn-out notebook. Her name was Sophia, just 8 years old, yet far too familiar with the struggles her mother faced. She clutched a single red pencil, her small fingers smudged with graphite as she carefully traced lines onto the paper. Her drawing was simple yet filled with hope. A cozy little kitchen, a wooden table, steam rising from a pot on the stove. It was more than just a drawing. It was a dream. And then, the deep rumble of a motorcycle cut through the night air. A sleek black bike pulled up to one of the pumps. The rider, dressed in a worn leather jacket, moved with quiet confidence. With a smooth motion, he removed his helmet, shaking out his damp hair. It was Keanu Reeves. He scanned the station, his gaze pausing on Emily, watching as she worked tirelessly, her exhaustion evident in her every movement. Then his eyes drifted to Sophia, hunched over her drawing, lost in her own world. With quiet curiosity, Keanu walked over, crouching slightly beside the little girl. His voice was gentle. "What are you drawing?" Sophia looked up, startled for a moment. Then, shyly, she turned her notebook toward him. "It's a kitchen," she whispered. Keanu studied the drawing carefully. The details, though childlike, were thoughtful. A warm space, filled with food, laughter, and love. But there was something missing. At the top of the drawing, there was a blank sign above the counter. Keanu pointed at it. "And this? What's supposed to go here?" Sophia hesitated, squeezing the red pencil in her hand. "That's the name of Mama's restaurant." Keanu's expression softened. "Your mom wants to open a restaurant?" Before Sophia could answer, Emily rushed over, wiping her hands on her apron. "Sophia, don't bother the gentleman." Keanu shook his head, smiling. "She's not bothering me. She's telling me about her dream." Emily let out a tired sigh, glancing between Keanu and her daughter. But before she could respond, a car honked impatiently at the next pump. "Excuse me," she said quickly, before turning back to work. Keanu watched her go, then turned back to Sophia. "So, what's the name of the restaurant?" The little girl hesitated before whispering, "Mama doesn't know yet. But one day she will." A heavy burden. As the hours passed, Keanu sat nearby, sipping a cup of gas station coffee. He observed Emily closely, the way she moved despite her aching back, the way she forced a smile despite her exhaustion. Finally, when the station was nearly empty, he approached again. "Are you okay?" Emily straightened, forcing a polite smile. "I'm fine. Just a little back pain. Comes with the pregnancy." Keanu frowned. "Working this late? In your condition? That can't be easy." Emily sighed, rubbing her temple. "Easy isn't really an option. Rent's due, food isn't free, and I can't afford to take time off." Keanu hesitated. "And what about rest?" Emily let out a quiet laugh. A laugh without humor. "Rest? That's a luxury I don't have." Sophia, still listening, reached for her mother's hand. "You do everything for me, Mama." Emily squeezed her daughter's hand, swallowing the lump in her throat. "You're all that matters, sweetheart." Keanu saw the weight she carried, not just the pregnancy, not just the long shifts, but the crushing responsibility of doing everything alone. And at that moment he knew he had to do something. A life-changing gesture. The next evening, just as Emily's shift was ending, the familiar rumble of a motorcycle filled the air. Keanu had returned. In his hands were 2 large paper bags. Emily looked at him, confused. "You're back?" Keanu smiled. "Told you I would be." He placed the bags on the counter and opened them. Groceries, fresh vegetables, a set of new colored pencils. Sophia's eyes lit up. "For me?" Keanu nodded. "Every artist deserves good tools." Emily hesitated, glancing at the bags. I don't know if I can accept this." Keanu gently placed an envelope on the counter. "This is for rent, just for this month." She shook her head, voice trembling. "I can't. I don't take charity." Keanu's voice was calm. "It's not charity, it's a chance to breathe." Then he handed her a flyer. Emily read the words carefully. "Culinary course for single mothers." Her breath hitched. "What is this?" "A free course. Teaches cooking, business skills, in case you ever want to turn that dream into reality." Emily stared at the paper, then at Keanu. Why would you do this for me? Keanu smiled softly. Because you deserve it, and because everyone deserves a chance to dream. For the first time in years, Emily let herself believe maybe it was possible. A dream reborn. Months passed. Emily took the course. She learned. She worked. She grew. And then, one morning, Keanu led Emily and Sophia to a small storefront. The sign above the door read, La Cucina di Emily. Tears filled Emily's eyes. Keanu placed a hand on her shoulder. This is for you, a place to start. That night, as laughter and conversation filled the little restaurant, Emily placed a plate in front of Keanu. I never thought I'd be here, Keanu smiled. But you deserve to be. And in that moment she realized one act of kindness had changed everything.